hurricane, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. Yeah, you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy for the light. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Can get you out of my head again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. I know you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy for the light. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me Well, I'll be rolling forever. Is your silence just a deadly sound? Got to get it now. 'Cause I'm falling to my knees right now. Somebody save my, save my, save my soul. So I don't have to ever feel so lonely forever. I've been searching for your heartbeat.
And welcome to Mark Interviews. And today, I'm so excited for this interview. We've got one topic that has to be discussed, but that will be coming a bit later on, and she knows exactly the topic we will be discussing as well. But if you haven't already, if you're watching this on repeat or you're watching this live on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and if you're following us on Twitch, and if you have or if you haven't, make sure you smash the follow button, because you will get instant notification when one of these live streams or any content that's coming up. We've got bangers coming for you. We will find out what they are a little bit later on. We will be putting the calendar up a little bit later on in the show. So if you don't know who any of them are, and if you haven't seen the previous 5, this is the 6th episode of Mark Interviews. And basically what the topic is we've got new people, and I'm going to call them old, the originators of our local establishment that some of you may not or may have seen before. This is very much of you getting to know the type of person they are and why you should be watching their content on OLE and other platforms as well. So this is what the whole series is about. We've got 4 more to do after this. After this one, I've done the thumbnails. I am fully prepared. And also, I will say Auntie Collins is now the absolute pinnacle, because I've done the introduction to this and haven't fucked up. And this is the first time the whole series so far that I haven't done. Yes, Auntie, you can swear as much as you want. This is my show, and I do. God. Exactly. We've got, see, Astrid is already here. All these theme songs are bangers, very much so. And Astrid knows there are more bangers to come in the future as well. But before we get into it, and here we're going to go. Let me introduce. I gave her an absolutely incredible introduction after the Bash in Berlin post show. I'm not going to be able to top that, because I destroyed my voice for 2 days after I did that introduction. But ladies and gentlemen, she is the queen of Ring of Honor. She is one of the most prolific names, we're going with it, names in the whole of wrestling media herself. Ladies and gentlemen, please let me welcome Auntie Collins. How you doing, my love?
Hello, hello. It's early. It's hot. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
Don't be nervous. If
Uh,
you've seen any of this,
it's
you know
never
that
about me. It's never about me. It's always about wrestling and it's always about something else. So the
true
focus and spotlight is on me. I don't know how to act.
yourself. Just
Yeah.
be you. Just be yourself. And that's one of the things
Okay.
I have found. It is quite interesting because when I always, because I'm closing I'm the curtain here. That before we go live, I always tell people exactly what's going to happen. I
Yeah.
always go through it, and I always say to them, if there's questions that you do not want answered as well, give me a couple word answers, and we'll move on. I will never push a subject or make anything feel uncut. This is not gotcha media. I am not certain wrestling industries that personally go into DMs and have a go at people because they can't handle the truth.
All right.
That
All
wasn't a
right.
shot at someone.
No, never. We would never
No,
shoot. We
that
we
person
normally
knows exactly who they are.
we never
Because
shoot.
I'm going to say it's a he. He tried to really go for me in my DMs and call me names, and then when I battered him down, he ran like a little bitch. Anyway, moving on. My disdain for that one person. We're going to get to the first question. So all of these questions is about yourself or about what you do. But the first thing is, it's on this channel and everywhere else, we're very much talking about mental health. It's very important nowadays that people start opening up and start talking about it. So my first question for you is, how is yours and how are you getting on?
I think my mental health, especially after the summertime, had a lot of hits coming. A lot of things that you know hit the Kevlar vest, right? You're just trying to walk through life, and you're like, nothing can hit me. And you know what? Had some hits, had some things that hit a little bit hard. Had to take some time off. I went to the mountains, had to regather myself. But other than that, life is so good. I feel very grateful for what life has given me. Life sucks sometimes, you know. I feel like Limp Bizkit said it so perfectly. Um, some days you don't want to wake up. Everything is fucked. Everybody sucks. So if I can keep that motto and have that be like my little mantra as I make my commute to work,
Yeah.
it helps.
So for you, we all have like coping mechanisms or
Mhm.
certain things that help us get through the day, or certain things that you can take your brain out, move it to one side, and sort of take yourself away from that situation. What is that for you? The first question for that is, what is the coping mechanism for you? Is it someone or something? And the second part of that is, what is the thing that makes Auntie Collins sort of take her brain out, put it to one side of real life, and just sort of distract herself from that and look at other things as well?
It's a great question because you don't know it until you go through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's different trials of things. You could try different things and say, okay, that's not me. For me, if things are too stressful, and because I can get really hot headed. That's something that it's part of my lineage, part of my family. We get very angry, and I can get charged really quick. And if I don't want to explode, because nine times out of 10 don't really think that it's warranted, I physically have to remove myself from this situation.
Yeah.
And because I have a very analytical shoot job, right? My day job is very analytical. I deal with numbers all day. I deal with high personalities all day who think that they know more than I do. And that's fine. However, I have to go on so many walks and do like a creative thing, like make a TikTok video or make something physically with my hands in a 15-minute span that goes, I just need my brain to literally defrag its hard drive right now. We are unplugging, plugging back in, because if I continue, it is going to be Godzilla, you
Yeah.
know? So that is how I de-stress. If that doesn't work, I have to take my physical brain out of my skull and put it on the bedside table. It is watching the Real Housewives of whatever franchise, because nothing takes me out of my current situation like entitled rich motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like just watching them overreact to Missy didn't invite me to her daughter's birthday and she brought me sprinkle cookies. Who brings sprinkle cookies? And I'm like, you know what? I get it. I get it. Because my life is nowhere. If we did a Venn diagram, they would just be two circles. There is nothing similar that I have with these rich entitled women on these shows. But there's something so intriguing about someone having a temper tantrum over sprinkle cookies that I'm like, you know what? This is how I need to take my physical brain and put it on the bedside table, because nothing else is working. Because you know what? I mean, I've shared it, you know, on other platforms, but you know, I have been a recovering alcoholic. I struggled with substance abuse for quite some time. A lot of people in my life did not know that this was happening because I was so good at hiding it or masking it. Although the closest people to me go, no, I knew something was going on, but you're welcome to make your own decisions. And you see those patterns of behavior, you see how you are managing that stress. And I've seen how it's deteriorated others, and I don't want that to happen to myself. And I don't think it should happen to anyone. So,
are you all right talking about that, or have you done?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, for you, when did you realise that you were going through that, or what was the thing that made you the light bulb moment? I could tell you mine, and I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
When I was going through my severe depression and anxiety, one day it all just changed for me. It was very much, I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't go anywhere without either my mum or now my fiance at the time, now my wife, being there with me during that. And then one day, I don't know what happened. I snapped, I punched a hole in the wall, and then I just went, something's wrong. What was it for you that you went, right, okay, I don't know what, I'm not going to ask you how you got to be in where you got to, but what was the light bulb moment for you to go, okay, I need help?
There have been a couple rock bottoms for me. I mean, I'll share. So one of the biggest rock bottoms for me was in 2015. I was in a really emotionally abusive relationship, and I coped by having 3 jobs. So that I was never home, so that I never had to see them. And I coped with it by using substance to get me through 24 hours of literally working from job to job to job. And when that started to wear off, then you go to heavier things and heavier things. And by the time your 3rd job is, you know, affording you the substance that has been putting you more and more in debt. And I was working one job, and there was a customer who came in and asked me to go get a drink. You know, wild child in me went and got a drink, and he drugged me. And I don't remember, about 22 hours. I almost got fired from my other job because I didn't show up. And I found out later that he had assaulted me. And I felt like something wasn't right. I went to, you know, the hospital and police and everything. And there was really nothing that they could do or offer me. And it was hitting that rock bottom of, okay, this thing happened to me. There's no playbook on like what you're supposed to do. And the internet is the internet. And if I tell people on the internet, hey, this happened to me, I'm going to be blamed for going to a sketchy bar or letting guy pay for a drink, or even just existing as a person. And so it made me go into a deeper depression. And, you know, I left the fundamentalist Christian church, not too long before that, but I kind of, you know, had that feeling of wanting to go back to a church. And it was at that church that I got shunned, that they called me all these names. They said that this was God's will. And it made me feel like there was nothing left to live. And all in all, it what really snapped me out of it was my grandfather passing away. And I was living on the East Coast and everything was happening on the West Coast of the United States. And so I knew that that was happening. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go stay for a couple weeks. And then as that all was happening with the stress of everything, my mother had a stroke. And so my mom to me has always been, the warrior, the person who has had all these things in her life happen to her. And she's escaped, numerous relationships and, was recovering from a really, really bad divorce. And so all of the stress caused her to have a stroke. And so I said, you know what? I don't need to live in this place anymore. I don't need to live in a house with a man that I don't even like, with a life that I don't want. I don't want this addiction anymore. I don't want any of it. And I bought a plane ticket and I said, I'll be home eventually. Here's rent in case I, don't show up. And then I never went back. And I don't know if it was cutting it cold turkey or what, because financially, you can't really support yourself when you literally move. And then you have to move everything. And I sold all of my possessions. It was like the most manic, but clear-headed that I've ever been. And that was the biggest rock bottom for me, and having to go through the motions, because once that happens, once I'm moved, everything isn't fixed. All those things are still in there. And therapy has never been a welcomed experience in my family. We've been a suck it up, just tough it out. It's where probably a lot of my humor comes from. But I had to go to therapy, and with therapy, I had to start working a program and learning where addiction comes from, and knowing that I haven't touched a substance since 2016, which is like the biggest important thing that I've ever done in my entire life. But I wish that I could tell my grandfather,
Yeah, very much so. We've got a couple of questions. Well, not questions. See, even Astrid's telling you not to.
I'm already crying.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect that, but sometimes it's good to get out how you feel and to tell people. Astrid, very much so. That's a sentiment that we all share here today as well. So, how are you now? How are you now with it all? Do you look back on it and go? I look back on it with me, and very much I go, when I look back and think about everything that I went through and how it all went and all of that, I go, it was the hardest point in my life, but I needed it to get to where I am now. Is that the way that you look at it as well?
I think that's how I feel, is that it's a shame that it took me so long to kind of go through all of that. I hate that and I mean, part of this was, with addiction comes like physical things that I just chalked up to, like, oh, I'm having a breakout on my face, but I'm having a breakout because I'm doing substance, or I'm super skinny and kind of emaciated looking, not because of a workout that I'm doing. It's not something that I felt comfortable talking about. So I wore very baggy clothes and did not want to accentuate any of my body. And I didn't want anyone to make comments about my body. And I hate that that was part of it. I hate that. But I wouldn't trade it because of what I know now. And how I'm dealing with it now is I know things that are my triggers, right? I don't go out to bars anymore. I bartended for so long. And addiction is part of that culture, and it can sweep you off your feet so quickly. And I just don't go out to bars anymore. I don't hang out with people after 1 a.m. because I know that that's a trigger for me, which makes it so people don't want to hang out with me or invite me places, or I don't like to go where there's excessive people drinking, or I don't like being around people who are super wasted. It's kind of a trigger for me because it's traumatizing.
Yeah.
But it's not to say that me drinking a glass of wine has never been my issue. Drinking a glass of wine in my home or with my friends has never been the issue. It's the letting myself get out of control and being in an environment that encourages that. And it just sucks because a lot of my friends love to go out to bars and they love to get a little bit, drunk and wasted, and they want a DD, and I'm always happy to be that DD, but I can't be in those situations.
If you're non-American, DD is designated driver. I'm just
Yes.
going to say that now.
Oh, what does
If you're-
DD mean in not America?
Don't
Oh,
worry about it.
OLE
Yeah.
after dark.
Yeah. So we had a conversation away from everyone, and you told me recently, I won't get into what you told me, but you got to tell me recently that you're married now.
Yeah.
You've got a lovely husband. So let's talk about your husband. Let's cheer things up a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
So how did you meet Mr. Collins?
Okay.
Sir Collins, as I'm now going to call him. Let's have a little bit of a laugh.
He could be uncle. It's fine.
There we go. So I'll tell you a little story. So I'll tell you a story how I met my wife.
Okay.
So my wife, I met her. Her dad owns a pub. He still owns a pub, but he owned this pub near where I lived. And a guy that I used to work with was having a birthday, and his birthday party was everyone had to dress up as the letter D because his first name was David. So we all dressed up. So I was looking around thinking, what can I go as something D? I was thinking loads of things. And then I went, do you know what? I'm going to be Darth Vader. So I got a full Darth Vader costume, brought a lightsaber, everything. And I couldn't work the lightsaber. Wouldn't turn on, wouldn't do anything. So I got to the pub, dressed as Darth Vader, and she now tells me it was, and she now calls it these days, the biggest ick of her life, me not knowing how to work this lightsaber. But I got her brother to fix it, and this is how, it was a birthday party, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I got to know her. At that time, I used to smoke cigarettes, and I offered her one, and we were having this conversation for about an hour and a half, 2 hours in the garden talking, and we were doing that. A brother fixed my lightsaber, and this is how drunk I was. I thought on the way home that my lightsaber was real. So I went up to a tree and tried to cut down the tree with this lightsaber, which then I broke. But then, yeah. So that was about 11 years ago. We then didn't stop. She stopped talking to me for a little while, obviously. 5%. And then 10 years, we got engaged. 2 years into a year into a relationship, a year and a half, because when I went through my first mental breakdown, I said to my brother that if she sticks around with me and she's there at the end when I get through it, I'm proposing to her. And then I did Christmas Day 9 years ago, 9 years ago now. And then it took us 10 years until June this year to get married. We've had 2 kids as well in that time. So, yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. I love that.
Yeah, no, I thought, because we're all sharing, people will get to know me as well. But yeah, I've got my daughter who is 7, turning 17.
Yeah, I was about to say that's drama central.
And my son is 5, and he's a non-verbal autistic, fully on the spectrum. You will hear times when I'm recording during the day, loud noises of just yeah. That's him trying to like censor himself again. It's the most fun you can have because he's hilarious, but he struggles with it. But yeah, that's me. And let's hear about Uncle Collins.
Well, so technically I met Uncle Collins. His name is Epifanio, so we call him Epi.
Wait, hold on. Say that again.
Epifanio?
Epifanio.
Yes, Epifanio. His uncle's name Epifanio. His grandfather's name is Epifanio. Everybody that is a male in his family has an E name, and they're all Epifanio. Yeah.
That is so American. Anyway, carry on. So
He's not even American.
Oh my God. Oh no. That is such an American thing as well.
he's from so he's Hispanic, so his family is from Central Mexico. So
Right, okay.
they're all the very thick, very exactly. So I'm technically met him when I was 17.
Okay.
And I had a teensy crush on his roommate because they were in college and I was still a senior in high school. So, forbidden love, can't do that. I liked his roommate because he used to play video game themes on the piano. Something about me is I've been playing piano since I was 5 years old.
No,
And
I'm Beethoven.
yeah, I'm not very good. I used to go to competition. You see, here's the thing. I used to go to competitions, right? That's what I wanted to do. Is I wanted to be a concert pianist. But I got these little baby hands, right? I got little baby hands. And every adjudicator in all of those things said, "I'm sorry, but you can't make the extended, 12th, which is the, full." Crushed. My dreams are crushed. So, I was homeschooled as a kid, which probably explains a lot. But I just taught myself all of the contemporary music on the radio because my family couldn't afford sheet music, and the internet didn't exist as a resource. So I just started writing my own stuff, and then I started, high school, and joining choirs and theater and all the things, and learning show tunes was like so much fun. And I love playing piano. So that's when I met his roommate was at church. And we were both playing piano, and he was showing me things and showing me how to improvise with my small hands because I don't have that wide of a span. But he was showing me how to improvise, and he was just this like cute nerdy guy in the back room just playing video games. So I was like, oh, trying to say hi, but he didn't really say hi to me. So 10 years goes by. Right after high school, I moved to New Jersey. Lived in New Jersey for quite some time. Went to school in New York City. Stayed over, on that side for 10 years, right? And I mentioned that I came back in 2016. 2017, I start working at this marketing agency. And who is at a desk diagonally to me? It's Epifanio. So I said, hi, do you remember me? Yeah, I remember you. Oh, okay, cute, whatever. And I'm like, he's really handsome. He was really cute. And he had little Pokemon figures on his, and he had the whole Scott Pilgrim series on his desk that was all colorized because I only have the one that is in black and white. And so I just started talking with him and talking about all the things. And, we started talking on the Slack channel. And then one day I made him a coffee because because when you work at Starbucks for 3.5 years, you just start making everybody coffee, even when you're not on the clock. So I started making him coffee. And then we went to, I think it was Spider-Man Homecoming at a movie theater, matinee showing. And I'm laughing like I do. I'm a very loud person.
Yes.
And the guy in front of us stops me after the movie and goes, your laugh is obnoxious. And I was like, okay, great. And he goes, well, if you're going to be obnoxious, at least be pretty.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's 11 a.m. on a Saturday. And I go, sir, go take your medicine. Please leave me. And I saw Epi physically get like, okay, I'm like, okay, no. We're not going to do this. We're just friends at the time. But no one had ever defended me like that. And I was not in the realm of even wanting a relationship. I just had a whole mess of things go on the year prior. And we just slowly started hanging out. And then it just turned into, are we talking to anybody else? No. We like each other, right? Yeah. Why don't we date? And so that was New Year's 2018. And it took him until January of 2023 to ask me to marry him.
Fucking hell. Well, okay.
we had to make sure it was right, right? You know,
Yeah.
there are ups and downs. We wanted to make sure, and then the pandemic did not help. We wanted to make sure that everything we learned about each other wasn't going anywhere. And when he asked me to marry him, we were driving home from, I think, Target or something just whatever menial, was not like a fancy whatever. And he goes, let's go to the park. Usually when I like to go to the park, I have to be wearing things that, you know, would be okay at the park, because a lot of our parks here are muddy, you know, it's rainy, you know, I'm not ready. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, I have to show you something. They built this thing. And I'm like, okay. Knowing that the park near our house, it has been under construction. There are dogs, and I love seeing the dogs when they, you know, do the dog adoption events. So he takes me to the bank, and I was like, is he about to propose? So I texted my best friend, and I'm like, what do you know? Is he about to propose? And he's very nervous, and I've never seen him so nervous.
Yeah.
And then he started to go down on one knee, and I'm like, oh no, there's mud right there. No, no. I don't want to get money.
There's mud there.
But he's a man of few words, and the words that he said literally melted me. And I said yes, and then I go, oh, I don't talk to my family. I have to tell my family before I post it on social media, right? And he's already telling, you know, his family, and I'm go, okay, I guess I'll text people. And they're like, oh, we already thought you were engaged. It's like, okay.
Happily ever after with the greatest name. By the way, during that conversation, right, when every time I talk to you, or I talk to the majority of people, because I'm the only Englishman doing OLE, there's mostly American or Canadians. But you said two words there that made me laugh, like inside. The way you said coffee,
Yeah.
coffee, and that made me hysterically laugh inside. I'm like, I'm trying not to break. And then I think it was park.
Yeah.
The park coffee. And when you said those two things, I went, this is the most American conversation I've ever had in my life.
That's how you can tell I lived in, you know, New Jersey and New York.
Type. I got a coffee in a park.
So one of my pet peeves is when I'm talking really fast, right? And especially if you get libation in me, right? I'm start talking.
What? You talk fast? What?
I do.
Never.
So when I start talking, and all of a sudden, like I'll really go into Jersey accent, people will stop the conversation to mimic how I said it, but it's so bad. Like some people would be like, "Say that again, park," and I'm like, "Oh, please don't. You look like you're about to strain something." Hold on. Hold on.
It's the coffee that gets me every time.
Okay, Astrid, I did live in Flushing, Queens. So funny you say that. See, it all comes full circle.
That series in so long. That's the one with the guy at Grown Ups, isn't it? Is it Kevin? Is it the Kevin Spade? Kevin, that one, the big guy. Is that the one with the big? Yeah, is that the one I'm on about? Or am I thinking of the?
I'm sorry, I would never identify.
She's gone. Oh, as I think of him, as Adam Sandler's second-hand man, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, that's all right then. Now we can. Once we moved on from the coffee, we're going to go into the next thing. And as we are mainly a professional, I wouldn't say professional wrestling show, but we are talking about professional wrestling. So, what got you into professional wrestling? And who were the? Let's go with top 10 favorite wrestlers that you've seen.
Okay, so if you want to know how I got into wrestling, I haven't always had the best relationship with my father, but as a kid, my father loved Saturday morning wrestling. And as a kid, there was like a story that he would tell. He would tell us that in the 70s he escaped to Toronto to avoid being in the military. And this is, my dad is a, military guy, right?
Right.
All of my friends have known him as being in the military. So when he tells a story about him in the 70s, it's so strange because he tells me that, I have very curly hair. His hair is the same as mine, curly down to his waist, the thin little band, right? And he's wearing high heels, right? Those platform shoes. And in Toronto, some of those roads and sidewalks can be a little cobbly, they're not flat. And he said that he was walking in the street and he started tripping and the bus was coming by. And he starts falling, he's falling, and all of a sudden someone catches him by the tunic on the shirt, the collar. And he pulls him up and he looks and it's Andre the Giant. And he goes, oh my God, I watched you. And he goes, take care of yourself, kid, brush him off, made sure he was okay. Went their separate ways. A few hours later, they go to this pub and they're having some beers, having dinner or whatever. And my dad sees that Andre and his entourage are coming in and seating in the VIP area. So he goes to the waitress, the cocktail waitress, and asks them to send a round over to them as a thank you. And the cocktail waitress says, I can't, you don't have a tab because that gentleman has paid your bill. And he would like you to join him for dinner. So he goes over and joins. He joins. I know. He joins Andre the Giant. He gets him to sign something, little napkin.
That'd be like me meeting Dominic Mysterio. Carry on.
But my dad tells this story so much better than I do. He does the impressions, everything. And, he said that moment was like a moment for him that he was like, I need to get my life together because, oh my God. So we've always been a family that between Hogan and Andre the Giant, we are an Andre the Giant family. So we would just watch wrestling.
It's a good thing that it still holds up in 2024, isn't it?
I know there were some years it wasn't, but so I was born in the 80s. So my neighbors in the 90s would watch WCW, and I was definitely a Raw girly. So I would watch Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And then my mom goes, oh no, there's too many bikini clad women on that show. You cannot watch it. So I would sneak over to my friend's house so that we could watch wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
We had wrestling themed birthday parties, all the things. My birthday is always around SummerSlam. So there were definitely like, oh, I guess it's your birthday. And that's how I got into watching wrestling. And also the 1996 Olympics got me into it because of Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was my American hero.
Did you know Kurt Angle won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck?
With a broken freaking neck. Exactly. So why would I not want to watch, wrestling in the 2000s? I teetered off a little bit after Eddie Guerrero passed. And then with, I think, a lot of my peers around 2008, after the Benoit tragedy, stopped watching wrestling. I really did. And there was a period of time where I had gotten a taste of Ring of Honor because my neighbor, the same neighbor, would sneak me DVDs. I don't know how they found them. I don't know how we got them in the 2000s. But we were pirating things on the internet and watching these matches that had these rules, and they were so grainy, and they were filmed on like a home video camera. Yeah. But I was hooked to that kind of wrestling, and that's where my love for the Pure Championship started coming. So when I went away from the WWE style, I started watching these videos, and then I started watching TNA when I went to college because it was the only channel that I got in my dorm room. And that's where I got to see, oh my God, why is Kurt Angle on there? Oh my God,
Yeah.
why is Christian on here? Oh my God, it's Sting. And I'm just watching my childhood on TNA. So why would I watch anything else?
Yeah.
And so wrestling has just always been a part of my life, whether a big part or a small part, but it has really been birthed because of my dad.
Yeah.
So
perfect. So we're going to talk about Ring of Honor quickly, because obviously on OLE you do Ring of Honor post shows every week or anything that goes on. So what got you into Ring of Honor? How did we get there? We'll talk about your co-stars in a second as well. But what got you to Ring of Honor? What was the hook that got you there? And please do not say it was Tony Khan, because I will end this interview.
hell no.
Thank
Okay.
God.
Well, as I mentioned, my neighbor would sneak me these DVDs, right?
Yeah.
They weren't just Ring of Honor. They were like other independent wrestling shows, a lot of lucha, because I absolutely love Lucha Libre. Absolutely love anything that I can't understand what the commentary is saying. So I have to fill in the nuance in my head, because commentary is there to, yes, edge the story on, but when you can't understand commentary, you make up the story in your mind. So I started watching things, and then the internet happened. I got a computer in my room, and then I started watching clips online, again, pirated. And that's where I fell in love with Bryan Danielson, knowing that he's from Aberdeen, Washington, which is a couple-hour drive from where I was born on a military base, where I fell in love with pure wrestling. And then, things waver, things change. And it was kind of around the 2016 where it was a little bit more accessible. I had a little bit more free time because I was not doing other things. What else to distract me other than watching wrestling clips online? And I know that you don't like Damian Priest.
No, I like Damian Priest.
Okay, we do like Damian Priest here. So
I like Damian Priest.
Punishment Martinez was my guy, right? In the 2017, 2018, he was my guy. He was who I looked at and said, he doesn't belong in Ring of Honor. He belongs on a bigger stage. And then I forgot about him for a little bit. You go, this guy is not here, and then he leaves, and I go, okay, hopefully he's doing something bigger. What do you know? He went to NXT, and now he's on the main roster. So it's just the curiosity of going, okay, WWE product was a little bit too produced for me. I wanted to see something raw, something nasty, like that nasty kind of wrestling where
so you're telling me you didn't enjoy Kevin Dunn's 45 camera cut takes that he does during
Sorry, no thanks. I don't like produced wrestling. It is for somebody else. But I like story. I like stories. Yes. And I think that WWE does a great job at storytelling when they want to. But there was something about the Pure Championship. There was something about the drama that you would hear in the forums about, contract signings and all the things. Those existed back then, just in the forums, So I've been a little curious cat that, can't sleep. And what do you do at 2 a.m? You watch wrestling clips online.
Yeah. So then let's talk about Honor Ramble, shall we? How did you get yourself to our local establishment? And how did you be able to team up with Carl Sparks, who will be coming on here in a few weeks' time with Jose on air at the same time? We're going to be doing a double interview that day for both of them to get to know both of them. They will be coming in a few weeks' time on that. He confirmed it with me yesterday. I had a conversation with him yesterday.
Yeah.
So how did you get to meet him, and how did you get the firecracker that is Kimmy?
So, the birth of Kimmy as all of our metaphorical child, So
young. It makes me so angry with how much she's done at our age as well. It annoys. I look at her like a proud I can't say dad because I'm 31, she's 23.
I
I'm like a proud older brother, shall we say? Very
Yeah,
proud.
yeah,
But
we're
at
all
the
the
same
older
time,
brother.
I want to go. And I said this to her as well, off air. I did say it on air. I said, I also want to say fuck you for the amount of people that you have to go and see. It like irritates me as well at the same time. But, yeah.
I love that because you're saying what we all are thinking. We're just like, we're so proud of you, but also fuck you, you know.
Yeah.
That's gonna get clipped.
Oh, absolutely. Astrid's around. You know for a fact that Astrid will find a way of doing that as well. I know she's
my
around.
gosh,
Oh, God
I live for it. I live for it. Okay, so about almost 2 years ago, I was a guest on Fightful Overbooked with Kylie, and I've been doing podcasts in and out. In college, I worked the behind scenes part of the radio station, had a radio show myself, had things on the side that I was like, this is my own little space, you know, on the internet. Yeah. So it started. Kyle entered my DMs after we were talking about Ring of Honor, like publicly,
Carl,
and he goes,
"You want to admit to something
yeah.
here, Carl? What are we
No,
doing,
not like that. No.
Married woman here, Carl. Remember that.
I know, same. But he entered my DMs and he goes, "Do you want to do a show with me?" And I go, "Hell yeah!" And he goes, "I want to do this show. Do you have any ideas for names? All these things." And I literally was in like a little bit of a burnout mode from my previous job. Yeah. And I was like, I have no thoughts in my head other than Auntie of Honor. But you're not also an auntie, so that doesn't work. And he goes, how about Honor Ramble? Because if you know about the Honor Ramble, things. And I go, oh, that's so much better than what I had in mind. So we picked a date. And it was literally, I think, the 50th episode of the Tony Khan era. And it was almost their year mark. And I was like, you know what? Why not start at the year? Happy birthday, Ring of Honor in the Tony Khan era. Ugh. Here's me and Kyle shitting on your product.
So it should be.
Because we know the Ring of Honor of yesteryear and the magic that it created for us weirdos. Needless to say.
And how was it? How did you get yourself onto our local establishment? Who was the person that
Kyle said that it was just like going to be on here. He knew a platform, and I said, okay, as long as they'll have me. No one had. I assume no one knew who I was. Not all me. I had to follow everybody. And I was like, I don't know who any of these people are. They don't know me. They haven't vetted me. They don't know if I'm some weirdo. But
We've worked out that you are.
So that's what had happened. And when Kyle needed to take some time off because he was doing outside curricular activities. Oh wait, Astrid, you knew me before. I feel like we did follow each other, but I just can't remember. I just remember that I was never following the channel and I didn't know what I was doing. So but Kyle had to take off some time because he was in a play and doing other things with his kids. And I messaged Astrid because I was like, I need a co-host because I can't talk about Ring of Honor by myself.
No, you could.
I could, but who would watch that show?
After the conversation we've had today, we know a lot of people would. I know by how much I've met you, the direction, you just don't know where it's going.
Where are we going?
Yeah.
That's the show. Bye, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
We would ramble about breakfast food and, go off. But Astrid gave me Kimmy's name. Oh, of course, no one knows me. Oh, okay. I am clarified. But anyway, so she gave me Kimmy's name and a couple other people to ask if they would be, guest hosts. And Kimmy came on and I was like, this is a young person. Do you even remember anything of wrestling? And the things that she would say, the experiences that she had, I was like, I have to have her on the show again.
Yeah.
And then Kyle was out for a little bit longer than we thought, because of everything that he was doing. And so who had the most availability is this 23-year-old punk kid from New York. So it's like, fine, you get to be on my show. You write an article. I know that you're watching it, so be on my show. And then she just kind of was like, what if I was like on here permanently? And I said, okay. Okay. You show up, you can be here.
Yeah. So
I made the decision for Kyle. I didn't even tell him.
Oh, he's all right with that. Before we get into what the members of OLE would like to ask you and some of the things that they would like to say about you to everyone, there is one question that I've been asking for the past few weeks that I want to ask you is if you could have if there was 3 qualities in a person that could be friends with Auntie Collins, what are the 3?
Well, first off, you have to have a good sense of humor. If you don't laugh at any of my jokes and I don't laugh at any of your jokes, what was that? Especially if you make sound effects, because my neurodivergent brain, I make sound effects, and I can't explain them.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just do it. If you have that kind of same. And I have a very childish sense of humor.
Yes.
So the criticism, for instance, of like Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania.
Loved it.
I love that.
Yeah, same.
I watch it by itself so often because I love slapstick comedy. I love anything that's stupid.
Yeah, same.
I love it. So
brilliant.
if we have this similar, if you laugh, I'm gonna laugh. So
that's 1.
2. So this might sound shallow, but it's not, because it's my neurospicy brain. Okay?
Go on.
You can't smell like bodily functions.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think I'm very accepting if like your hygiene like is a little bit off, like, oh my god, I didn't wash my hair, whatever. I can be dirty. I'm gonna be dirty, I'm ready to be dirty. But if I'm constantly around you and you smell like caked up poo in your booty cheeks, and I tell you, go take a shower, wash your ass. Sorry, your pits smell rank, and they smell rank every time I see you. And I offer help. Here's some deodorant. And you go, no, thanks. I'll pass. We cannot be friends. And that is just for my own processing, because with me being on the spectrum, being on, neurodivergent spicy brain, it overstimulates me when things are too gross smelling.
Yeah.
Even because I worked at Sephora, because, that's a stint of my life. Even being around too much perfume is overstimulating to me. So, like, there has to be a balance, and you gotta wash your ass. Come on.
Yeah, you're in a bit of a wrong community for people. The community is full of.
That's why I sit in the media section.
So we've got, you can laugh at a joke, smell nice, you smelly fucks. And then the last one. You
gotta love people. If you're constantly talking shit, well, here's the thing. You can love a person. You can love, like, if you spend your entire time just shitting on what other people like or other people, I don't want. So here's the scenario. I used to be a friend with this group, right? And the head guy would, anything that you liked, he would shit on.
So if I shit on AEW, I'm okay.
You're fine. That's wrestling. But it's like things about you as a person that it's like.
Oh yeah, no, I don't do that.
I'm finding this.
Things. I don't shit on people. I tell them to their face. No, I've never been. I never. You can ask anyone that I've ever been with. I never gossip around people's backs. I tell you to your face if you're a prick or not.
See, And that's the thing. I don't like fake ass people that,
No.
and maybe that should be it. I don't be a fake ass because
Don't be a fake bitch.
there are plenty of people I do not mesh well with that I don't like. I am blocked by a shit ton of people. I don't know why, but I get it. I'm what they call a prickly cactus. You know, some people like me, some people don't. It's okay. I'm told that I'm a cactus. If I'm not a cactus, tell me.
Are you sure they're calling you a prickly cactus and not just a prick?
It's only because sometimes I call it as it is. I'm very like who I am when I write articles, who I am on video, who I am on the internet, and who I am in person is the same exact person. I'm never a persona.
Yeah.
So when people are fake nice to someone, I call out their bullshit. I'm like, hey, how come you can be friends with this guy and you suck up to him because you get free tickets to, you know, football games or whatever? I don't care. But then behind your back, you're telling me all this shit, telling me all the shitty things he does. I don't want to be friends with you. If you're going to hate on people, do it in the right way, but do it in front of their face. So I'll tell you if I don't like you. But if your whole personality is making fun of how people look, making fun of how people dress, how they live, all behind their back, and then you're fake nice to them.
Yeah.
No thanks. You can't be my friend.
Much. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a bit of a commercial break now. And what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at the new intro of our local establishment, and then we're going into the calendar for what is happening this week and the rest of this weekend. But before we get into that, what I want to do is coming next week, Saturday the 14th, midnight for people over in the UK, 5 hours behind, you can work that out. I think it is over there. We've got this guest coming on. Ella J will be coming on next week. So make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This one I'm very excited for. I did message her yesterday. She is still up for it. She's very excited for it to do it. She also has zero clue about what's going to happen. So this is going to be fun. Right. We're going to have a little commercial break. And so before we got a comment here, and Astrid is very, very happy about that. So that's perfect. So let's go into the OLE new intro if you guys haven't seen it so far.
Hurricane, a tidal wave, essence perfect, life looks brilliant, give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. Burying me. Yeah, you burying me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized.
gotta do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Phones are calling and the eyes seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming for the sake of all your lies. Why don't you try to be why? Now that I need you, why?
And that is exactly what is coming up here on our local establishment. If you haven't seen any of the shows and if you want to see it and you're new around here, make sure I have my moustache. I do apologise if you're watching the show and I keep playing with my nose. The hair from my moustache is going up my nose and it is irritating. So once I've done this, I'm going to go for a shave. But no, so if you haven't already and you're new to this show and you haven't seen anything before and you've come in, I need to remember it's the opposite way, this lady here, and you want to see more of what she does, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button as well. Even put in the comments down below as well, if there's anything you would like to ask Auntie Collins, she will be around in the comments, or we will put it in the Discord or answer it on X or anything like that. Make sure if you're on Twitch and you're watching this, hit that follow button, you fuckers. So if you haven't seen the show already, quick roundup. The 3 things you need to be friends with Auntie Collins is not to have a smelly ass. Is one of them. Be funny. And at the same time, I can't remember. I just remember not having a smelly ass. That was the only thing that made me laugh through all of that.
Oh my gosh. And don't talk shit about people behind their back.
And don't talk shit. That was the other. Don't be a two-faced bitch.
You can talk shit. I talk shit about Tony Khan all the time.
Exactly.
And I would say it to his face.
Yeah, that is very much of what. Welcome, SCG. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Nice to see you back here again. But yeah, so we've got some questions here for you that have been asked from people from our local establishment who you have or haven't met for here today. We're going to start off with Bobby Money Munson. He always writes, by the way, a paragraph when I have to read it. And what he needs to realise is I'm dyslexic. So this takes me longer than normal sometimes.
That's okay.
To read through. So be prepared. He goes, he asked the same question, American for you. I thought that was so shit. We're going to skip through that. He asked the same question, so we're going to go through what he asked in a minute, but this is what he's got to say. As for what to say about Auntie Collins come through OLE through the recommendation of Carl Sparks for Honour Ramble. I had the honour, pun intended, to get, and he did put brackets, pun intended, by the way, to get to produce the Honour Ramble for a while, which is how I got to know Auntie Collins at first. Always full of energy and laughs, Auntie Collins manages to make herself and others smile even on the worst days. Collins is very passionate wrestling fan, and that is seen through all the hard work that Auntie Collins brings to the table. Outside of the laughs, I've seen an amazingly strong person who always puts her friends and family first, which is a quality to have. Auntie Collins has become quickly someone that I consider a friend and have the utmost respect for Auntie. So give Auntie all the flowers or else. So we've got the first cry, right? That's the first one that's cried during the question. We've got it. Bobby, you've won. He's done it. We've got here from SCG as well. He's laughing. But his question to you is, if you could sit down and interview anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
This question is hog wild because now I got to think of dead people too. You know, I got to think.
You don't have to. You don't. That was a strange way of sentencing that. But yes,
interview anybody.
Yeah.
Honestly,
go for it.
I would talk to RJ City because he has so many stories about backstage at WWE, probably AEW. I secretly want to know all the things that happen backstage because I am clueless on the cheese may. that's why that's probably the real reason that I have Kimmy on the show, is because she tells me all the chisme, and I just need to know what's going on. But yeah, probably RJ City. So RJ City, if we do have a sit down, we have to do an auntie off, because we gotta see who's the ultimate wrestling auntie.
So the next one is from Kimmy. I messaged her on Discord and she was very happy to do it, because she was very angry last week with the one-worded questions that she come off air, right? I'm breaking the fourth wall here, right? She come off the air, she goes to me, why did you make the one-word question so hard? I had to think of different words. I don't have that big of a vocabulary. And she was going to me behind the seat. I wet myself. I've never laughed so hard.
Oh my God.
So this is from Kimmy. Collins is a wonderful co-host for Honorable. She makes Thursday nights so much so much more, and Honorable more bearable. She has been taken into OLE family, and I'm forever grateful for being the best co-host in all the land. That's what she has to say about you.
All the land.
The question for you is, what is your favorite ROH Pure Championship match? Your favorite match?
Well, I'm gonna go with the first.
It's so, by the way, this is so true. Please go back and watch.
Okay, so I watched part of the interview because I was like, I got to know what I'm doing, and then I saw that it was 8:45 here, and I go, oh, I gotta leave. So I didn't know that was a part of it. So I haven't seen that.
It was the point of, she was very happy to do it and she loved doing it, but it was the part of when she had to think of new words and not repeat the same words.
She writes words.
I know.
And she goes on podcasts.
It made me laugh. Yeah, go on.
Gosh.
Your favorite wrestling.
Okay, so my favorite pure wrestling. So one of the first DVDs that I ever saw a pure championship on, I wrote about it in my article. The main event was AJ Styles versus CM Punk for the first Pure Rules champion. And I think that match is ingrained in my head. I could go backwards and forwards and tell you that AJ Styles' knee was hurt from a match previously. CM Punk was the little bitch that he is. And
best in the world at what he does. Fuck all the haters.
Fuck it all. But that match
between Phil Brooks, if you're watching this, and he would like to come on the show, I would love to sit down with you and talk shit. All right. No worries.
You can talk shit about me too.
While we're at it, Dominic Mysterio, I will be your dom. You can be my dom. So yeah.
Oh my God, jeez.
I'm shooting my shot here.
Get a room.
Oh, I would with Dominic Mysterio anytime.
Oh my God, no.
That and that mustache.
What did I ask for? Okay, but yeah, that main event. And AJ Styles wins because he was the... Oh, God. Jeez. Now we're all fantasy booking interviews of Mark. But, yeah, AJ Styles versus CM Punk. And this is like 2000, mid-2000s version. So they were doing nasty wrestling. Nasty. No. And I loved it because here's the thing, you have the Pure Rules, right? It wasn't as fully developed as they are now, right? There are 10 full rules, whatever. The ones that the crowd didn't even know the rules. There's no project, like this is so like old school, but they were chanting along with the rules. There was no, there's only 3 rope breaks, no closed-fisted punches to the face, like all these things that it's like the crowd knew the things that were happening, and heels were being heels and faces were being faces. Obviously, AJ Styles was a big face. He was coming into the match a little bit injured, and CM Punk is CM Punk, and it comes down to the end. And who comes out on top? AJ Styles. That crowd, that reaction, just don't want none. So yeah, that's my favorite.
And let's
Pure
be fair,
Rules.
those two have gone on to have some of the best careers.
I know.
Questionable with one of them, but yeah.
I mean, me being, someone who's literally trading DVDs with my neighbor had no idea that any of this is
It's gonna happen.
going on. And I'm watching it literally probably a year after everything was happening. But
Perfect.
little me.
Right, next one is from Mr. OL Ed Fries. Ed, I love you. And I know you put in the comment earlier, where is it? Here, that he's currently doing something at the moment. We'll watch it later on. So when you watch this back, I've got two things to say to you. One, I love you. And two, fuck off. That's for you as well. Edward Fries, here we go. Exactly. So this is what he's got to say to you. Auntie, you are an incredible part of the team. I have greatly enjoyed being on a ramble with you as a backstage producer in the early days. Even if your taste in food and drink is questionable, you are a value member of the team. And his question here for you is, if you could start a non-wrestling show about any topic with any co-host, anyone in the world, dead or alive, who would you work with and what would the show be about?
A show that's non-wrestling with anyone dead or alive. So back in the day, before the pandemic, I had a show called Collins on the Rocks, where I interviewed local wrestlers in my local promotion, and we just got hammered, which it was so much fun. Like, because the first 15 minutes, they're like getting through their drink or we're doing shots or whatever. And the moment you get to the end and they're like, oh man, I'm telling you things I shouldn't, whatever. Absolutely thrills me when there's a little bit of inebriation, because that's when the wall comes down. And again, I love being exactly who I am on screen, exactly who I am on the internet, in my writing, in all of the content. This is who I am. And facial expressions and everything. So if I were to do something like that, it would be a show where we're just getting, wind up and watching reality television. Just the bad. And I love the game show ones, like the Big Brother kind of ones, or the Survivor kind of ones, like where, oh my gosh, if you haven't watched, oh gosh, what's happening outside? Sorry. I live in a city, so when there's noise, but Traders. I know that there's Traders has been going on for a very long time in the UK, and the US has to make it reality show based. But I love the UK Traders because it's just regular ass people and no one knows shit about anyone. And it's from all demographics of life, all socioeconomic backgrounds. And you play this game where nobody knows who is the trader. So there's 20, 30 people, and there's 3 or 4 traders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have to murder someone every day. And everyone who's not a trader is also trying to figure out who is the traitor. And the traders, during deliberation, is trying to get everyone off their scent. So they're obviously not killing people that would be obvious, or people that accuse them, they got to play dirty. And every time, I would want to see how I would do, but I'm also terrified that I would be first killed. But I would love to do a show like that, of going at week by week by week, episode by episode, and just talking to people, of being we're watching the show and then immediately coming and doing a post show, because that's exciting to me. It's the psychology,
Should I tell you a little fun fact?
Yeah.
The very last season, before it come back, or Big Brother in the UK, I was down to the semi-finals of going on the show. And also The Apprentice UK.
Oh my
I was
God.
down to the semi-final to go on that show, but because of the pitch that I did for the job that the business I wanted to start, because Lord Sugar looked it over and didn't like it, I didn't get on the show. Fun fact.
Rude.
I know, bastard. And also he's a Tottenham fan, so he's dickhead anyway. Anyway, not that you American Spurs proper football, by the way, proper football.
Proper
but
football.
Yeah, that was a fun part. So that was from Ed. We've got one here from Astrid, who has put, I'm very glad I've been able to get to know you more and your contagious laugh. I admire how you stand up for yourself and others. And her question for you is, what's something you haven't done in wrestling media that you would love to do, and someone you haven't worked with and would love to?
So I haven't done shit. I've just talked into a microphone. I have shows. People come and I hang out with them. I just feel like I'm hanging out with my friends. So I feel like I haven't done shit yet. I have so much I want to do. I want to go to a media scrum, which I'm coming soon. Coming soon at a media scrum near you. I've traveled for wrestling shows. Hello, I'm wearing my the first All Out that I ever went to in Chicago. I went for this match of Kenny Omega and Christian Cage, and I stayed for the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers.
Oh, sorry. I just got a bit sick then hearing about the Young Bucks. Sorry, I do apologize.
You quiet. You're not allowed to. No.
If people, Lauren Goodnight is exactly the same as you. She loves the Young Bucks. I despise them.
Here's the thing. I was a Bullet Club fan. So watching Bullet Club stuff online, I've had a New Japan subscription since forever ago. I had to change my email because I don't use the other email. But I've had to do that like 3 times because of how long I've had my new, probably since the beginning. I don't know. So I've just adjacent, right? Have always cheered for the Young Bucks because of the Bullet Club. So I've never been like Young Bucks. Yeah. I like that they're brothers. I like that they're good at wrestling. I like fantasy booking things. But I'm not a
So we've got a WWE 2K24 series on my channel, Mark Talks Wrestling, and Lauren Goodnight is the general manager to AEW, which will be getting demolished, and I'm burning the building down, where she will then become a general manager for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And there is a match booked for WrestleMania, which will be coming up very soon, and you'll understand it very soon why. Oh, fuck it. Spoiler alert. There is a match booked at WrestleMania where it's me, my character, versus the Young Bucks. And the loser gets deleted from the game and never to be seen again.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's violent.
Yes.
You get to take on both Matthew and Nicholas.
Yes. But what people don't understand is on the hardest difficulty, and I'm like the boss at the game, so I know how to beat them very easily.
No. Oh, no. Yeah. You better beat them, Mark, or else. Or else. You have to point at the camera when you say it.
I will destroy them. Right. So, Astrid has said, no, not Astrid. This is from Auntie Collins, who was in the show earlier. She's already been interviewed as well, so it's Astrid.
My fellow Collins.
Melbourne, so she has come out and said, I haven't had the pleasure of working with Auntie Collins yet, but her laughter and passion for wrestling is clear with every word she says. She has one of the biggest hearts and is always around when you need her, ever present and willing to listen before offering her thoughts. She always is making us laugh and think with her well thought out explanations. Together with Cole, she has become an important member of OLE team, giving us amazing thoughts on ROH and its happenings. And for record, Auntie Collins is right. Kimmy is Ishii. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the team. Love you, Auntie. For the question, what are your hopes for ROH and wrestling all over for the rest of the year? And who do you think is deserving of the biggest push?
So my comedy answer would be Athena gets all of the belts.
I presume you're a massive Athena fan.
I love Athena. Athena has been carrying the entire show for the last year and a half that she's been, 600 plus days. So almost 2 freaking years, she has been carrying this company on her back. When she first came on the AEW roster, there was not the impression that people cared about her.
Yeah.
She's
It did help her with her booking that she had in WWE.
I
with
know.
the injuries that she had so many in WWE, which was a shame.
It was a shame, but you know what? Whatever she's doing now, take it further. And I joke that she should take the ROH Heavyweight Championship. She should take the Pure Championship. She should take all the tag championships. She should take all the belts because she definitely deserves them. I can't wait to see her pass Samoa Joe's legacy, I guess, which is the longest reigning champion in ROH history. But where do I see it going? We fantasy book it all the time over at On Our Ramble. And it's difficult because where I want it to go is probably not where it's going to go for probably ever or some time. I think that the women's division in Ring of Honor is so rich with talent, but they need to get out of squash match, building someone up to have them lose. I need monumental matches that I go, oh, we are fantasy booking the shit out of this. Queen Aminata versus Taya Valkyrie in a main event, and the person who wins goes on to face Athena. Like, I need this kind of high stakes action. So if Tony Khan, if you are listening ever to me or anyone, you need to have matches that I give a shit about, right? Don't just have all these squash matches. Squash matches do have value, but give me matches that make it so it doesn't seem like Athena's up here and everyone else is just down here. We need some variation. Who has the skill level to wear? Yes, Taya Valkyrie has that experience over someone like Red Velvet, but Red Velvet has that scrappiness that we've been seeing, this edge. So where does she go in the playing field? Is she just up here kind of with Athena because she has a belt? I need to know where we are putting people on the stairs. And I want to see those second place versus third place. I need to see those fifth place versus the sixth place. I need something of variation so I can differentiate, because right now it just feels like flat. Mm-hmm. With the men's side, I am so happy that we are actually seeing these champions on my weekly show. I need to see people on the week after week after week have those title belts, because what are we fighting for? If we're not fighting for a title belt, what are you fighting for? Squash matches. Give me a reason to log in, pay the money every single month, and talk about it online. There are people who praised the last pay-per-view and they were like, this is the best thing ever. Tony Khan hits it out of the park. I watched the show week after week after week, and I went, besides the main event, that shit sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see things week after week after week, and I see how things could have been if they were built. And I just want to see things start to be built. I want to see Adam Cole come back. I don't want to see him in AEW. I think he does have a place in AEW. I want to see him taking over Ring of Honor like he did 10 years ago. Give me that Adam Cole who's on a rip roar where his friends come to his side. Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, even throw in some Bobby Fish, have him get paid for something, I want to see him tear through the Undisputed Kingdom, dethrone people, take their title belts, because I know that Adam Cole still exists. I know that he's having a good old time, being chugs on the internet. I need to see violent Adam Cole. As for your Pure Championship, by the way,
he needs to come back to WWE.
Oh, don't do that. He's
got Triple H in charge now. We know what Triple H did with Adam Cole.
I agree. However, Adam Cole was great before he went to NXT.
Oh yeah, no, that I know because I didn't watch before or anything. I've heard of him, but my experience of Adam Cole was Undisputed Era Adam Cole, and that is one of the best in-ring wrestlers that I have seen.
Do you remember that SmackDown that it was when everyone in Saudi was stuck? So, and who didn't go to Saudi is Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
And who do they have? Who's at that caliber?
Yeah.
Adam Cole. That match lives rent free in my dome. My dome where gummy bears and candy live. It lives rent free. And I want to watch it back to back to back because that match, they literally didn't have an agenda. They go, okay, we just need to put on a match and we need to fill TV time. Yeah, there was the producing little bit, and yeah, it could have been on a pay-per-view, and yeah, we could have built a storyline. But the things that they were telling us with their bodies, the things in the choreographed nature of their little dance, so to speak, were gorgeous. And that's why I think that Adam Cole, I agree, Astrid, that show was one of the best SmackDowns I've ever seen.
Yeah. And there was the match with Adam Cole did when it was Survivor Series, and it was NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown, and it was Adam Cole versus Pete Dunne. Now, I'm a massive Pete Dunne fan. I'm a massive Bruiserweight fan. I remember watching him before NXT UK in program, and I loved him. And then he went to NXT UK. I saw him live because I went to the first ever NXT UK show, and I was there watching it. And then ever since then, I love that Triple H is now pushing Pete Dunne again in the main bit. But seeing that, oh my God, that was just... Oh, sorry, I do apologize.
I do love Pete Dunne, and here's the reason why. I don't like... Okay, flashback. So he does this move where he breaks the fingers, right?
Yeah.
He breaks the fingers, and I suspend my disbelief. I go, oh my God. It's because I was playing piano at a show in Idaho, right? I used to be in this cover band. It's stupid, and we're not going to talk about it. I was playing a suspended 13th chord. Remember I told you that my span is not very long. So this finger here, I'm not flipping you off. Do you see how it's still crooked?
Yeah.
I played piano so hard that the tip of my finger got dislocated and it was hanging off. So every time Pete Dunne does that, I just remember that searing pain and I go, holy shit. Because wrestling is kayfabe or not, if they're breaking fingers or not, whatever. I just go back to that. And that's what I love. I love violence.
Right, so we've got a couple of things here. STG wants me to destroy the Young Bucks. I will. Don't worry about that.
You have to say it. You have to say, or else.
Or else I will destroy them. Do not worry about that. And then he's got pictures of Tony Khan's face because he's throwing up.
Because he feared for his life.
Astrid makes the wrong opinion and loves the Young Bucks. She's wrong, so it's fine. Destroy them. In the when STG puts, so you're looking for booking that makes sense. I respect that, but Tony Khan doesn't.
You can read about my article about how Tony Khan doesn't care.
Exactly. One of my favourite Survivor Series too, absolutely. And Bobby, I presume this is Bobby, is in the background of our local establishment saying, hope everyone else is having a great Saturday. So, here we go now for the finale.
Oh.
And she was not happy with the music.
Thank you for making me cry.
No, that's all right. I tried to change things a little bit quickly.
I love it.
No worries. So, quick fire round. 1 word answers. That's it.
Okay.
So, first person. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying her name. It makes me ill saying it. Mercedes Moné.
So I have to say 1 word.
Yeah.
Class.
I wouldn't go with that one. Damian Priest.
Bisexual.
Adam Cole, baby.
Violent.
Seth Rollins.
Feathers.
Okay. Bryan Danielson.
Goat.
Yes, I agree with that. Of course, it's Body B, the Overlord. Oh God, you start her with her. I know. And well, you left the goat a bit too early, I think. Dominic Mysterio.
Chicken tendies.
That's
Tendies.
oh, there we go. Kevin Owens.
Mad.
Yep. Young Bucks. Oh.
Elvis. It's because they're gear, their best gear that they ever had at the first Double or Nothing. Elvis.
Right. Perfect. Bullet Club.
Standard.
The Rock.
Overhyped.
Slowly not loving you anymore.
It's not that I don't love The Rock. It's just
He's the person that runs the place.
okay.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, by the way, The Rock, if you're watching this and you want to have a chat with me, I'm available.
STG, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yes.
Okay, you said Stone Cold?
Yeah.
Beer.
RJ City.
Auntie.
Kurt Angle.
Champion.
Sami Zayn.
I can't say.
I don't know where you're going with this.
Conspiracy.
Okay. Tony Khan.
Fantasy.
There's a word I can use.
I'm saying fantasy because I feel like he's a fantasy booker, that he makes these matches up in his head and he thinks that everybody likes them, so he's living in a fantasy.
Athena.
Goat.
Now we're going to get on to some members of our local establishment.
Oh no.
And others around as well. So what we're now going to do. The first one, Astrid.
Adorable.
All right, someone's got to think that. Come at me in the comments, Astrid. Come on. Ed.
How can you do this and not?
It's all fake persona. It's a fake persona.
I
Behind
believe
these,
you.
She's effing and blinding. She's calling everyone names. You don't know. No, I'm joking, people. I'm joking.
Oh my God.
Ed. Edward Fries.
Helpful.
I don't think Ed and helpful has ever been used in a sentence before.
Well,
but let's go.
baby, I think he's helpful. He's helpful. He's helped me.
Bobby Money Munson.
Supportive.
Ella J.
Prestigious.
Melville Collins.
Electrifying.
Kimmy.
I can't say a swear word. That would be.
You can use a swear word.
I'm going to call her a boss.
Okay. When we go off air, I want to hear the swear word that you want to say.
something, little fucker, you know? Just.
Cole Sparks.
Encyclopedia.
All right. Now we're going to go into some wrestling shows. Before we carry on, I've just had Astrid say, "Excuse you, sir," and then Bobby called me a knob. So I'm having a great time over it. I love being called a knob.
Okay, what is that?
Pause.
Can you tell me what that means? Is that like a doorknob or what? No. I don't know what it means.
It means, right, so knob in English
Yeah.
means you're a penis. Means you're a dick. Right? Yeah. So over in England, if you go, "Oh, you're such a knob," it means you're just being a dick. You're a dickhead, that type thing. By the way, Adam, if you're watching, you need to clip the bit of me explaining it and her laughing of how long it's gone. That is amazing.
I've gone 36 years of my life and I didn't know.
You didn't know? Oh, right, okay. So I think FCG is from England, if I'm right. FCG, put in the comments if I'm right. Yeah, that is the best way to explain that.
Okay, this is the best ab workout. I'm telling you, I'm so.
Oh God. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, that's fine. Then. Right, let's move. Right, we're going to move on now to wrestling companies. Ring of Honor.
Trying.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Goals.
I'm loving the fact that you're just trying to fan yourself while you're doing it.
It helps.
Stardom.
Inspiring.
Marigold.
Newborn.
Mm-hmm. TNA.
Hipster. And not in a bad way, but
NXT.
Rebirth.
WWE.
Produced.
AEW.
Lost.
The last person.
You?
Oh yeah.
Belland.
I'll take that one. I like that one. I think that's twice someone's probably like that. I love it. And the last one for you, and the last one for the one, and you've done really well with this one-word answer, is family.
Sorry, all I'm thinking about is there's only one wrestling family, and it's
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Family. Everything.
Look at that one. Right. So we've had a few. Astrid couldn't breathe when you started laughing, and she started crying with laughter. Give her a moment, Mark. You broke it. Yes,
You did.
very much so. Great word.
I had to defrag my hard drive just now. Jeez.
Very much so. Bobby's awesome, and thank you. Thank you ever so much. Right, we're just about to end now. So if you can tell everyone where they can find you and what you've got coming up.
Oh my gosh. You can find me anywhere _queer auntie, except if you follow me on Twitch. Because Twitch does not like underscores, and it's ruining my whole algorithm because there are other people on the internet who took the queer auntie. So you know what? I'm gonna come get you, Twitch. Anyways, I'm gonna take down Amazon. So
just call them a knob and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay, _queer auntie. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I am over on Twitch. I usually stream on Fridays. I didn't this Friday because I've had one of those weeks. It was a 4-day work week for us, but I fit 5 days in it, and I don't know how I did it, but that's what I did. I'm here every Thursday on this channel. I'm talking about Ring of Honor. I wasn't this week because mentally Auntie needed a break. I just needed a little bit of a break. I also think the heat wave here, I know that it is for the UK where people go, oh, you can't take that much heat. We don't have air conditions in the Pacific Northwest. And they say, oh, it only lasts about a week. Literally, global warming is happening to where the entire summer has been, it comes and goes, but when it's hot, our buildings are meant to hold all that heat in, right? Because it's so cold and wet here. So there's nowhere for the heat to go. We don't have air condition. I'm just a sweat box, and I also run very hot. I also think that that's like an ADHD thing because I cannot regulate my temperature. So anyways, it has been hot. I do need my Pacific Northwest rain. You can find me on all social medias. I'm just being a freaking idiot. I'm learning how to use Instagram because Instagram for a very long time has just been random pictures about nothing. And I'm learning how to actually use it for good. And a lot of people like my videos, which are just stupid life things. So I think I need to do more of that. You can follow me on YouTube, which is the same _queer auntie. You can see all of my vlogs from 2018 and 2017. You might see back when I didn't want people to know that I was dating my now husband. So because I wanted to hide him because I didn't want to be that like office romance kind of thing, But yeah, you can follow me on all social media. And then on Sundays, I'm over at Fightful Overbooked. I almost forgot, where we talk about how wrestling made us cry. This week, we're just going to go through the post show of All Out and probably talk about other things. I've been messaging Kylie about all of our Halloween costumes because every Sunday in October, we're going to have a different Halloween costume. And let me tell you how hard it is to think of like couples costumes that isn't like a full body because we're only doing from here up. How do I convey who I am as a wrestler or who I am as a personality from here up? But it's going to be exciting and I'm so stoked. So, yeah.
To dress up as a knob one week, it'd be even funnier.
Oh, I'm one of the leftover penis druids from All In 2018.
Exactly. Right. For me, you can know where I am. Mark Talks Wrestling, Mark Talks Gaming, Mark Talks Football, Mark Talks Wrestling. We're coming to the end of the series where we'll be starting new. We've got the final Elimination Chamber tonight and tomorrow, and then it's the build-up to WrestleMania. Mark Talks Football. We're currently... Where am I? I can't remember where I am. We've got a new job, or we're looking for a job. I can't remember whereabouts we are. I've recorded quite a few in advance, and I don't know where I am. So we've got a new job. We've just left into Miami, and where do we go? We go back to England. So you'll find out where we go from there. And Mark Talks Gaming. We have got replaying GTA 5 in 2024 and doing Formula One Manager 24 as well. So make sure you go over there and hit the subscribe button. But that is going to end the show. Have you had fun?
Yeah, so much fun. And now my dogs are now trying to hang out.
Exactly. He's wanting to come in and enjoy the fun. So with that, that has been the show here today. So thank you guys ever so much for watching. I'm currently looking at my outro, so that's why I'm currently looking over here. So yes, thank you guys ever so much for watching. Thank you, Auntie Collins, for coming on, and we will see you guys next Saturday, where it will be Ella J. So make sure you are around for that. But we're Love with Care. My name's been Mark. This has been Auntie Collins, and peace.